Hey guys, welcome to my tutorials corner. My name is Abhi and this is part 1 of C# tutorial for beginners. In this video we are going to just take an introduction about C#, that what is C# and why it is used. So let's focus on the introduction, that what is C#. C# basically is a object-oriented programming language, and it was created by Microsoft and it runs on .NET platform. It is basically a powerful language through which developers can create different kind of applications, like you can say Windows applications, client server applications, database applications, and other kind of applications as well, like distributed components and etc. If you are new to the programming language and if you don't know about it, that how to program anything, then it is going to take little bit of time to understand C#. But if you are coming from a background like C, C++ or Java, then you will feel like at home. C# is simple and easy to learn. Basically, in other words, you can say that C# is influenced by C++, Java and other languages similar to that. So let's go to the next section of the slide. At present, 7.0 is in use at the moment. If you want to use the latest version of C# is 7.0, and if you will look at the list here, the very first version of C# was 1.0 and the current version is 7.0. So let's talk about the version history, that how the things were introduced one by one. So the main person was behind C# was Andreas Hazelberg, and he was the man behind the C# language development. Basically, he was the leader of development in C#. And at present, if you will talk about the C# version, it is 7.0 and it was released in 2017 with the Visual Studio 2017. First, C# was appeared in 2000, and then it was released in 2002 with .NET Framework 1.0, and after that C# evolved so much. So if you talk about the features of C#, then in C# 1.0, C# 1.0 was came up with .NET Framework 1.0, and it was came up with the basic features. Then again C# was introduced in 2003, and it was called C# 1.1 and 1.2, and it has came up with the version .NET version 1.1, and it was containing the different features like built-in support for mobile ASP.NET controls, and it has enables code access security in ASP.NET, and built-in support for ODBC and Oracle database, and Internet Protocol version support, etc. In 2.0 C#, it was introduced with .NET Framework 2.0, and in this it was came up with generics, partial types, anonymous methods, iterators, nullable types, and so many other features. Similarly, in 3.0 it has come up with .NET Framework 3.0 and 3.5, and it was released in November 2007, and it was came up with the features like implicitly typed local variables, anonymous types, extension methods, query expressions, partial methods, and you can say lambda expression, and other features like that. In 4.0, the .NET Framework was 4.0 as well, and it was released in 2010, and it has come up with the dynamic binding, name and option arguments, and generic and other features like that. In C# 5.0, it has come up with .NET 4.5, and the features were methods and color info attributes. There were other features as well, but you can just find that out in detail on Microsoft website. But at the moment I am focusing on the main features which were introduced in 4.0 of C Sharp. Then in C Sharp 6.0 it has came up with 4.6 of .NET framework, and it was released in 2015, and it has came up with asynchronous methods and caller info attributes. No, actually this was a 6.0, and it has came up with compiler as service, and it was called Roslyn, and exception filters, await in cache, finally blocks. This was a replacement to the delegates and all that, and string interpolation, name of operator, and like that, other features like that. C Sharp 7.0, it was introduced with .NET Framework 4.6.2, and the time it was released was March 2017, and it has come up with the out variables, pattern matching, tuples, and so many other features like that. So this was just an introduction about .NET C Sharp version history. In the next slide, in the next video, we are going to discuss about the .NET framework versions, and we'll talk about the different features which were introduced in .NET framework. So that's it from this video tutorial, guys. I'll see you in the next one.